folks, let's talk about maintaining the seated butterfly guard, or also attacking the seated butterfly guard, which will be the opposite of the things that we do to maintain. We want to deconstruct those things in our opponent if we're attacking it. Okay, so the beauty of the butterfly guard, the seated guard, is mobility. That's what the beauty of it is. It's not a guard that I use to lock someone down into, to grab a hold of them and keep them from moving. The idea is that I have more mobility than they do, and that since I'm the center point of the circle, they have further to travel in order to get past my defenses, which are my legs, my hips and my legs. So, see the butterfly guard, I sit up, a hand is ready to protect each foot. The hand is ready to protect each foot. If they grab and they want to move them, the hand will rip the feet away from them, so they won't be able to control as well. Now, the idea is I am mobile. I can control the in and the out. I can control this distance. Someone wants to make me less mobile to attack my seated guard, my butterfly guard. The way they would make me less mobile is to flatten me out. They would drive me forward, crush me, make me flat. Now I don't have the same mobility to scoot in and out as I did before. I can scoot in and out easily from here. I can scoot in and out easily. I can scoot in, scoot away, scoot to the side. When I'm flat on my back, I can't do these things. It's much more difficult now. So my goal is to maintain the distance between our hips, maintain the space. It's not so difficult to maintain that space as long as I don't let them approach me too close. If they approach me really, really close, I want to be loading them up. Okay? If I'm not loading them up, then I'm waiting for them to flatten me out. So as someone is approaching, I can scoot under to load them, to load their weight, or I'll scoot away so that I'm maintaining that distance. Now there are times when they get a little too deep and they get control of my upper body or my hips, my waist, my legs, and they start to pin things down. If they start to pin me down, I need to re-achieve that mobility. Right? So they flatten me out. I need to re-achieve that mobility. I cannot have that mobility while I'm laying flat on my back. So I need to make space in order to get seated up again, sitting up again. Now, sometimes I can go straight away, pushing on their shoulder, their neck, straight away, and sit up. Sometimes I have to move my hips to the side to realign everything. So they flatten me out. I'm pushing their head and their shoulder. Sometimes I'll need to move my hips out to the side to come back up. Things to keep in mind are, I know basically the easiest way for their body to move when I push their head. So again, I'm pushing their head to free my hips, make space with my hips. They can control my feet, but if they're not controlling my hips, they're not controlling my real body movement. Control my feet, it's not real body movement. It can lead to real body movement, but it's not in the beginning. So I still have mobility in my hips. Now, if I push their head to this side, if I'm pushing their head and I'm making them look that way, their lower body's going to be able to go this way. So from my angle, I'm pushing their head to my right. I'll know that the easiest way for their body to go is to my left. So I'll have my hips, my legs, everything ready to capture them on this side. So if I push here, I won't turn with my hips and look there, knowing their lower body's easily going to move this way. Yes, if I push their head this way, their lower body can still move that way, but it's going to be much slower and much more difficult. I have much more reaction time. So if I'm pushing their head to this side, I know their lower body's going to be able to go to this side the easiest. So this is the side I'm prepared. So I'm pushing their head this way, moving my hips to face that way and get ready to recapture guarded position. So again, if I steer the head this way, their lower body can move around this way easier. Whichever way I push the head, their body wants to go. My head doesn't turn this way and then my body goes that way. Okay, my head goes this way. I want to realign my spine. When my head goes out of angle, off to an angle, it means my spine is misaligned. I want to realign it. So my lower body would go this way to straighten up from my head. So misaligning their spine will make them a little weaker. It'll give them less of a grip on our lower body. And we're going to have a pretty good idea what's the easiest way for their body to move. Push their head this way, their body's going to move that way the easiest. Yes, it can move that way, but that's going to be much more difficult, so we'll have much more reaction time in that direction. So either way they go, we're a little bit ahead. So hopefully you guys can use that same thing. if we're attacking the butterfly guard, I want to create an immobility in my opponent, because the mobility is the beauty of the guard. The guard is beautiful because it's mobile. I have the ability to get under you and load you easily, plus I have the ability to maintain that distance, keep you away from me. So as long as I can keep my legs, everything from my belt to my toes between us, I have the advantage of mobility, and I can get my legs underneath of you to scoop you up. So if I'm on top and I want to defeat that, I want to pin these legs down so I can get to the hips, make the hips immobile. If I can keep the person from sitting up tall, if I can get them flat, if I can get them laying flat down without really being on their side would be even better. But if I can get them flattened at all, it decreases their mobility. So also, wherever their legs and hips are pointing, if I can get past where their legs and hips are pointing, I will have the advantage for the pass. So if I can flatten someone and I can rotate their hips this way, then a pass is more easily available on the side that will be behind them. So hopefully, guys, that's a little bit of ideas for you to play with on maintaining butterfly guard, using the butterfly guard. Again, the beauty of the guard is the mobility and the ability to load. So if you're in butterfly guard or seated guard, concentrate on the idea that you either want to be loading them or you want to be keeping that distance in control. You're the owner of the distance. They aren't controlling it. If they're dictating the space between you and you're not loading them, then you're not winning the guard. So either be loading them by getting underneath, or either be out from underneath them. Very, very close is your range if you are in the guard, if you are the butterfly guard person, the person on the bottom. Very, very close is yours because you're loading them. Far away is yours because you have mobility. That medium range, that's theirs. We don't want to play in that medium range unless we're transitioning to a different guard. Okay? Because then we're just waiting to get our guard passed. Hopefully you guys will play with butterfly guard, because it's a guard near and dear to my heart because I love it. And you guys know I'm a big Marcelo fan, so I've always wanted to emulate that guard because he's the coolest. So anyway, guys, thank you so much, and hopefully see you back on the mat soon.